Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about knitting. Saturday, which was June the 11th, it was Worldwide Knit in Public Day. I did knit all day, but I did not knit in public, I just knit in private. I had started this random project day or two previously, and I had just cast on a number of stitches and I had no idea how many. I know now that it's more or less like 240 stitches. For the first two rows I just did gaiter stitch, and then I started to knit in a round because that is just the easiest. This is just out of the head, there's no pattern. And then when I got to around here, I split it up in the front section, which I'm working on here, and the back section for the arm's eye. While I was sitting working on this, I remember that in my video of my 1940s dress that I made of the duvet fabric, I mentioned, as I was talking about the accessories I would like to do, I mentioned that I would have liked if I had gotten around to knit something, and I said that I just didn't get around to do that. I also wanted to knit a lot of things, but you know what? Now, it must have been wiped from my mind that I actually did knit something. In the beginning of this year, I took up knitting again and I started doing a small swatch just to get back into the rhythm. It is quite a few years since I've knitted anything. After I had done my swatch, I knitted a top, a summer blouse, an undervest. And then I knit a pair of caminicas or pansies or bloomers. The pattern I used for the bloomers was a 1938 pattern in Danish that I found on Pintrest, and I had no idea what size this was. It didn't say anywhere. I just knitted as it said in the pattern. I feel very much like I could be wearing it with a diaper underneath it. It honestly feels like diaper pants. Underwear back then in the 1930s, 1940s was of course different than what underwear is now. I still think it's a funny feeling wearing them. It's a bit odd to be wearing them, but I did actually knit something here. The yarn that I used was it was a wool silk blend that I came across one day that I was just trying to organize my yarn stash, keeping cotton yarn in one storage bin and then wool yarn in another storage bin, I came across this bag and I looked into it and found this wool silk blend yarn, and I got quite confused why it was just lying there. It's very, very lovely yarn, and it's absolutely wonderful to be wearing it. Nej, men de ligger jo hernede i morgen. Here they are. Okay. I think I have bought this at some point in 2016 when I started crocheting, and obviously I have wanted to make some sort of flower shawl from this yarn, but never got very far. I'm glad that I used it for these undergarments instead. It is very lovely yarn. I also had this very thin yarn to follow along as I knitted it, so I had 2 strands of yarn, and that added a little fluff look to it. It is not done in the same colors because, again, this was just some yarn I happened to come across in my stash, and I'm not sure I could find any of this here some 6 years later, but it is very nice. Now, I have decided to try and knit a new pair of cami knickers, and I'm going to use the pattern that Shannon from making.seams.meet used for her waistcoat, her vest of the from the brand Monarch. I did start, I then abandoned it to actually sew dresses and crochet bags and snoods and stuff like that. I'm going to get back to that, and there's still the socks. One day I will do it. I have to do it. When this video goes up, we are probably very close to or already in July. This will probably be done by then. I hope. I'm trying to make it resemble fishnet. When I knitted my cami knickers or my bloomers, I did actually record quite a lot of footage of that. I'm going to give you a little montage. If you would like to have a longer video on the actual knitting, and it is just me knitting and no other sound disturbance. Let me know in the comment section and I will give you a longer knitting video. I have not finished this thing here that I started on June 11th. I have actually unraveled it and started again because it was just too big. Of course, it just had to be a fishnet kind of thing I could put on, but it was just, it was quite big. I finished sewing up my bloomers. I think I need to put some elastic in the waistband because these are also quite big. So I better do that. The only thing I have finished knitting is this little scarf that I did from a knitting pattern at the Australian website. And I found it because I stumbled upon a picture on Pinterest of someone who had actually made it, and I had some leftover green yarn, and then I just picked a thinner type of yarn to go along with it. All I need is to sew on a little button here so that it can sit like this. I think this is how it's supposed to sit. That's about it. And we are actually in the last weekend of June now. Thank you for stopping by my channel, watching this video. I appreciate you spending time with me a lot. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more knitting and mostly sewing from me, then hit subscribe and remember to click that little bell icon. I hope that you all have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye.